We're turning our attention now to the good news which came through yesterday evening, and that good news in relation to St John of God's and the services they provide in this county. St John of God's is to defer its exit from the provision of services in Kerry. The Minister for Education and Kerry TD Norma Foley has welcomed the confirmation St John of God Community Services has deferred its proposed exit from the service. She said the decision will ensure that vital services are maintained in a number of crucial facilities across the Kerry region. They've agreed to take part in a sustainability impact assessment with the HSE, which will provide a basis for the organisation to continue its important service delivery role in line with a reformed model of care. And this is welcome news. If you have a view, get in touch with us on the programme on that. We have Lynn Fitzpatrick, whose brother goes to St Mary of the Angels, run by St John of God Services, with us on the line. Lynn, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kerry. How are you?
Not too bad. Thanks for joining us. How are you, and how are you feeling now about where Bernard will continue to be, I suppose, and it will continue to be run by the same service that has run it for many years? You addressed the Oireachtas Committee on Disability Matters at the start of July, so you must be very happy with at least this deferral of the decision for them to withdraw.
Absolutely, Jerry. Yeah, I'm really, really delighted. I think it's really welcome news for myself and for all the families. The past 12 months, there's been an awful lot of uncertainty, and we're absolutely delighted that St John of God's will be, at least for the moment, will be continuing on, and we really do appreciate all the work that they do and the frontline staff do, So yeah, we're very grateful as well to Minister Rabbitt, Minister Foley and Deputy Griffin as well for their help in this.
They've been working away behind the scenes trying to make sure and trying to talk to the organisation about that announcement that they made.
Yes, I believe so, yeah. I mean, we had a meeting with them earlier this year, so obviously we were just there on behalf of St Mary of the Angels, but I know this impacts much more than ourselves, and I'm sure there's people that are very relieved everywhere, and it's definitely good news.
The sustainability idea here, it's a sustainability impact assessment with the HSE, which will provide the basis for an organisation to continue its service delivery role in line with a reformed model of care. So how important is it now, Lynn, that works out well, that the state gets as involved, I suppose, as it can in making sure that the service remains the way it is?
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial, I think, that work. And I know in their letter, John of God's acknowledged that there's an awful lot of work that will still have to be done on both sides to achieve the desired outcome. But I think that if they, I suppose, from my point of view, I would say listen to the frontline staff and listen to families. I think that would be very good at informing decisions that are made going forward. But absolutely, it's crucial work, but at least there's a bit of time there now and a bit of breathing space for everybody to hopefully keep working, towards a positive outcome.
Yeah, because it all costs money, but it's not just about the money. It's about the way the service is run, about the management of it, the way things are organised, that will have to come into it.
Absolutely, yeah.
How is Bernard doing?
He's great, actually. I didn't know I was going to be on the radio today, but I just like to take the opportunity to wish him happy birthday because he's 45 today.
Oh, brilliant. Happy birthday.
So, yeah, thank you. So
that's the best kind of birthday news, I suppose, you can get.
It is. It's strange timing, but it's just fantastic, and he's in powerful form altogether. Mom's having a party for him today, and his niece and his nephews will be there and everything. So he's beaming. There's gorgeous photos of him. I'm sure we'll be putting them up on Twitter. But he's thank God, he's just in the best of health and always so happy, So we're blessed, really.
Yeah. You spoke before the Oireachtas Committee early last month. Do you think what you said, I know you had a wider point about the move away from congregated settings to decongregated ones in the community, that you're not happy with that idea, you don't think that will work particularly for St Mary of the Angels, but do you think that you were at least in part listened to in relation to the news that's come out this morning?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have no way of knowing if the two things are connected, but I definitely feel, I felt that by the end of the 2-hour meeting at the Oireachtas, that I had been heard. It took a little while, but I got there in the end. I actually got the chairman, Deputy Moynihan. He's been very good. He's been in touch with some of the families, been very supportive. And I think, like one of the committee members commented at the end, that what I had they had caused them to think and to rethink and to realise that, I suppose one size doesn't necessarily fit all. And I think, to be fair to the committee, I don't think they'd had an opportunity to hear from someone with our perspective and our lived experience before. So I think it was a very, very worthwhile I'm just so glad I was there. Like, it was difficult, but I'm really glad I did it, because I think our voices had to be heard in this, and I feel that they were. I feel optimistic anyway, a little bit more optimistic.
Will that work continue? Lynn, is there more work to be done from your point of view to keep, I suppose, ye as stakeholders, ye representing, I suppose, St. Mary of the Angels, first of all, but also as parents of people, in residential settings, that you'll continue to work and try and get your views across as part of whatever final decision gets made?
Yeah, absolutely, Jerry. I know when the meeting I was at with Minister Abbott earlier in the year, and Mr. Foley and my dad, that was one of the things we asked for, was a seat at the decision-making table. I think that's really, really important going forward. So that's one part of it, kind of specifically St. Mary of the Angels. And then on the other side of it, I know for my own part, look, I've been working on a document for months that's like a critical review of the policy, and as soon as that's ready, I'm going to be sharing it with the committee and with ministers, and hoping to get that looked at. I think it's really, really important. Obviously, we were kind of a couple of years late even finding out about it, but it does directly impact our loved ones, so I think our voices have to be heard now. So that's for their best interest, you know what I mean? So my work is definitely not done in that regard, but I will keep doing it. I won't stop.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, but I know you're taking, obviously, advice, and you're talking to other parents of service users, and that flow of information keeps getting through to the people who are charged with making the decisions, but that's a very important part of it, Lynn.
It is. It's hugely important, and I do remember when our campaign kicked off in 2016, like, I know Dad was contacted by families all over the country who were in the same situation as ourselves. Now, I think they were further along than us at the time, and I think that maybe some of them now, I don't know if it's really worked out for them. So sure. I think in some ways we might be the last one standing in terms of a large, successful, appropriate, well, I don't know for sure, but a good congregated setting, let's say. Sure, so I think it's really crucial, like, not to lose the decades and decades of experience and wisdom and the proven track record of success that St. Mary of the Angels has, you know. I think that's so valuable, and I think what a waste it would be to just, I don't know, get rid of it and lose it and then have to come back and do it again from scratch in 10 years' time or whatever, you know. Because not everybody's needs can be met in the community. Of course, as I said at the Oireachtas, the majority of people with disabilities, of course, and anyone who wants to, I think anyone who wants to live in any type of setting they want should get to do just that. But I think there's no point pretending that there aren't people who need a very specialised type quality level of care and support, because, like Bernard, you know, they just do, and that's it. There's no point pretending they're not there. And, you know, the HSE year on year is seeing readmissions to congregated settings because the people's needs can't be met in the community. The community just isn't equipped. Okay. So, you know,
that's where you stand. Lynn, listen, thanks William for talking to us in the programme this morning. Continued success with the work that you're doing, and thanks for giving us your view on that decision of St. John of God's services to maintain their service plans, at least in the interim, while the sustainability programme is worked out. That's Lynn Fitzpatrick there, whose brother Bernard is a service user at St. Mary of the Angels in Beaufort. If you have a view on that. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
I'm not too bad. You obviously welcomed the news like Lynn this morning.
Absolutely. Well, I had heard it yesterday because I'm a member of the National Association, and some of those members got letters from Claire Dempsey yesterday. And then when I saw Minister Anne Rabbitt's tweet, I was really thrilled. But it's interesting. There's nothing about the improved governance on Claire Dempsey. Claire Dempsey is the CEO of St. John of God's Community Services. Nothing about that on her letter. But I'm just interested to see there's no parents at all on the board of St. John of God. And it's something the National Association are very interested in having, because, like, the stakeholders can't go on the board because they wouldn't be able to represent themselves. They wouldn't have the capacity. And I think it's very important that some parents should be on the board of St. John of God and on all charitable organisations dealing with people with disabilities, as they are at the moment, and a vast number of those service providers have parent representatives. I was 30 years on St. John of God, on Kerry Parents and Friends, as a parent representative on their board, and it's vital to have the stakeholder on those boards.
For their input and for their their voices to be heard.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would really advocate that, and the National Association are advocating that. But I was really impressed that Minister Anne Rabbitt has mentioned that improved governance. She has. They're the words she used.
Yeah.
So I think, things will get better, hopefully now. We have another over a year to wait until this sustainable
sustainability assessment is done. Yes.
It's done. Yeah. So it's still not over, but hopefully it's going to get better. We're just hoping. Yeah.
Okay, fingers crossed. Eilish, listen, thanks for your views on that this morning and your words on Eilish Perryman there on the line.